Nigga, and it's like that. Welcome back to another episode of Survival Time, nigga. We finna get into Big U again, because apparently this nigga has something to do with motherfucking PNB Rock getting smoked out in Cali. Clearly it must be about the whole checking in. It's supposed to be about the checking in situation. We finna see now though, because they got new footage on this shit. We finna see what the fuck is up.
This new footage just blew the lid off the PNB Rock case, and it's looking real bad for Big U. First it was the hit on Nipsey, but now it looks like he was behind the hit on PNB too. The FBI just confirmed some details that got everybody Big U is a straight up menace. Big U hasn't been officially named in PNB Rock's murder case, but the details surrounding the situation make it hard to ignore certain connections. Loose Cannon, someone closely associated with Big U, admitted in an interview that they were both at Roscoe's Chicken and Waffles when PNB Rock was shot. First, he said he was alone.
The crazy part about it is I was at Roscoe's when it happened.
I wanted that chain. He said no. And boop, boop.
Hi, I'm Ronnie.
These motherfuckers with these weak ass commercials. YouTube, bitch, we don't care about these little weak ass commercials, nigga. We don't give a fuck about these commercials, nigga. Fuck these commercials, nigga. We want to get to the business, bitch. The business.
No questions asked. And just took it and bounced.
But he stood on his business, but then it ultimately costed his life.
And then in another interview, Loose added Big Useless, probably referring to Big U to the mix.
I felt it was like super messed up because at the end of the day, it was me and Big Useless in there when it happened. So when it happened, I wish I could have just told him like, bro, just give up the jury and we'll get it back to you later. But it just happened so fast and he wasn't corroborating.
Big U himself, however, was asked about the PNB situation, but as you can expect, he kept his mouth shut about where he was at the time.
The situation that happened with PNB Rock at Roscoe's Chicken and Waffles, when it come down to that situation and everything like that, what are your thoughts on what happened to PNB?
It could happen to everybody. Just to be honest with you, I have spoken on that. It's about greed. You know what I mean? Greed, envy, same thing I did. I did that. I was on the other side of, I grew up and I lived on the other side of what PNB Rock was.
That alone is suspicious, but when you consider Big U's alleged reputation, it raises even more questions. People in LA don't believe in coincidences, especially when it comes to high-profile hits like this. Big U has long been accused of running an extortion racket, where people get robbed and then have to pay him to get their belongings back. That sounds eerily similar to what happened to PNB Rock, who was targeted for his jewelry right before he was killed. And now, with Big U being hit with a RICO indictment that includes charges for murder and extortion, it's clear he was involved in some heavy criminal activity. While PNB Rock's case wasn't specifically mentioned in the indictment, it does paint a bigger picture of the kind of business Big U was allegedly running. But just because Freddie Lee Trone was convicted for setting up the hit doesn't mean he was the only one involved. In the streets, the person who pulls the trigger or orchestrates the robbery is rarely the one making the real moves. Hits like this don't just happen randomly. There's often someone higher up calling the shot, but because of street code, fear, or knowing how the game works, nobody's gonna snitch on the person who gave the order. Loyalty and silence run deep in that world, especially when dealing with someone as powerful as Big U. So even though his name hasn't been officially tied to the case, that doesn't mean he wasn't involved. It just means nobody's willing to say it out loud. And with this new footage dropping, the streets are starting to take a much closer look at what really went down that day at Roscoe's. What should have been a regular meal with family turned into a crime that shook the entire hip-hop world. But was this just a robbery gone wrong, or was there something way more calculated behind PNB Rock's murder? You see, with the clips we've just seen, Loose might have implicated himself and Big U in the case. Now, Loose didn't explicitly say, yeah, we did it, but he admits they were on location at the exact moment PNB Rock was robbed and shot. And considering everything we now know from this RICO indictment, where Big U was running an extortion racket, this is looking real shady. The way this operation supposedly worked was that Big U's crew would rob someone and later help them recover their stolen goods, but only after squeezing them for money or favors. And Loose's wording in that interview lines up with exactly that. People had to check in with either Big U alone or him.
Okay, what's crazy about this shit is I can't 100% say he implemented himself, but at the same time, he kind of is on the low because they could twist that shit in court easy off the simple fact that that is what the fuck they do. They done robbed a lot of niggas throughout the past histories of the 90s, 80s, and going into the 2000s and 10s and all that. They robbed Martin, nigga. Like, these niggas is actually organized as fuck. People don't realize how Crips and Bloods get down when you get to Cali. They actually organized and they waiting on your ass to land because they against you and you against them. But when you coming in your city and they coming to your city, it's not really like that. It's different. So them niggas be taking advantage of that situation, especially with the OG situation as far as like the gangs being respected, how they respected up there. Like, they organized and they run their movement differently. A lot of niggas out here don't have OGs like that's running the block for real. These niggas is really out there running their block. So if they able to really send niggas out there for niggas, so it's actually a good ass possibility that shit actually could have happened. But like he said, they could have possibly helped him get his jury back on some free shit, but I highly doubt if it would have been free, they would have made him pay for that shit.
In order to get their own stolen jewelry back. That sounds like an extortion setup. And again, in that RICO indictment, Luce is described as Big U's enforcer, the guy who was out there actually robbing people on Big U's orders. What makes this even crazier is that PNB Rock himself actually talked about these LA robberies before he was killed. In an interview with Bootleg Kev, he admitted that people had tried to rob him multiple times in LA before. He even warned others about it. PNB knew how dangerous it was, yet he still got caught up in a situation where Luce and Big U just so happened to be present when he got robbed and killed. That is highly sus. But there's yet another aspect to this whole messed up story. As we've been seeing lately, Luce and Big U have had serious beef for a while. Luce has been speaking out against Big U in interviews, even making wild claims, like saying that Big U was behind Nipsey Hussle's death. He claimed that before Nipsey...
These weak ass YouTube commercials. To add on top of what he's saying on the low though, like, I did see that shit on Adam 22. I actually saw them interviews and they was going back and forth. That's why I'm actually confused. I low-key didn't know they was actually sitting together and no shit like that. I didn't know they was chopping it like that, but I know the OGs in Cali, like I say, they move differently. They be doing shit behind the scenes we don't always know about. Shit be just going on out there.
Big U called him and said Nipsey was already dead, but when Luce called Nipsey himself, he was still alive. Minutes later, Nipsey was shot. So Luce has been pushing the narrative that Big U sets people up for a while now. Now with this RICO case, Big U is under serious fire. People are questioning his entire operation. Luce's past statements are getting a second look, and the internet is running wild with speculation. Big U's fate is looking grimmer by the day. He is in some serious legal trouble after the feds hit him with a massive 43-count indictment, and they are not playing. This case is exposing a whole different side of him, one that completely contradicts the public image he's been pushing for years. The feds are basically saying he was running a full-on criminal empire. According to the charges, he was leading a mafia-style organization called Big U Enterprise, and they were allegedly involved in all kinds of illegal activity. The indictment ties him to the 2021 killing of aspiring rapper Rayshawn Williams. While they haven't officially linked him to PNB Rock case, a lot of people think there's more to uncover there. The feds also say he was running an extortion and fraud scheme where he'd set people up, rob them, and then help recover their stolen items for a price. And if that sounds familiar, it's because PNB Rock warned about these exact types of setup before his murder. On top of that, Big U's Developing Options charity was getting public money and NBA donations, but instead of using it for the community, he allegedly pocketed the cash for himself. Even worse, he was also accused of scamming COVID-19 relief funds. The feds claim he's been hiding money and dodging taxes for years. This isn't just some minor case. This is the type of indictment that puts people away for decades, if not life. The feds made their move on...
This got to be the dumbest nigga in history, bro. How you gonna try to avoid your taxes on some government ass funds and shit, nigga? They gonna watch that. They always gonna keep their eye on their money, nigga. You don't see who the fucking office is talking about what the fuck going on, nigga? They watching that money, nigga, when they give it to you, nigga. You gotta do your taxes on government funds, nigga, especially if you receiving donations from people, nigga, for a charity, and you gonna pocket this shit. You better know what the fuck you doing on your books, boy. These niggas is retarded. Then add on top of that, nigga, you getting teenagers killed and you in your 50s and shit, 60s and shit. This nigga out here playing football with your son and shit. This is a sad ass case and occasion where this nigga actually ruining lives and killing people, taking people out of their glow on some hateful ass, jealous, envious ass shit, but he talking the most shit about motherfuckers hating and being envious on his side. Fuck out of here, bro. You one of them guys.
On March 19th, 2025, when Big U turned himself in. He's been sitting in custody ever since, and his arraignment is scheduled for April 8th, 2025. And let's be real, the feds don't drop a 43-count indictment unless they feel confident about their case. This is looking real bad for him. What's really crazy about all of this is how Big U has spent years branding himself as a reformed gang member and anti-gang activist. He's been out here working with city officials, NBA players, and community leaders, even getting funding from the mayor's office for his so-called community work. But behind the scenes, the feds are saying he was running a criminal operation the entire time. If these allegations are true, then Big U wasn't helping the community. He was exploiting it. Right now, it's looking very unlikely that he'll walk away from this unscathed. A RICO charge alone is enough to put him away for years. And with all the financial fraud, extortion, and red room allegations, he could be facing life in prison if convicted. At the end of the day, we're not saying Luce or Big U confessed to anything in their interviews, but their words were definitely reckless. The fact that Luce casually admitted to the two of them being inside the restaurant at the exact time of the robbery, knowing what we know about Big U's alleged extortion racket, makes this a huge red flag. So the question is, do y'all think Luce Cannon and
This is what the fuck niggas was trying to say on fucking BMF the whole time, like the show with the whole thing with Big Meech. And this is why I actually fucked with Big Meech at a point in time. When you dropping so many bodies, bro, you bringing too much attention to yourself. You already doing shit on the low that's already not supposed to be done by you. Why would you add more attention to yourself? Then you dropping bodies like flies. It ain't like he dropped these niggas in a matter of years. It's like he dropped these niggas in months. Time frames. He got these niggas hits within like months, at least 5 to 6 months apart, maybe a year, I don't know. And then he's still popping niggas off through extortion. You know it's hip hop police around. I don't know why people keep acting like it ain't hip hop police around. Hip hop police is around. These police are made as a task force to follow rappers around. So when you doing shit to rappers, or rappers are doing shit to you, if you don't know that by now through the Lil Durk case and shit, they seeing that shit, they watching that shit, they just waiting on you to slip up some more so they can keep following your ass, because you just made yourself a target on your own like on your own actions, and trying to bullshit around, trying to extort motherfuckers and get motherfuckers for some little chump change because they successful. White people don't do this shit to each other, nigga. I wanted to do another video just off the simple fact of the last video and really get too deep into the case. That nigga got 43 counts against him, nigga. That motherfucker ain't finna make it out of this for real. They gonna get him on at least 10 of them charges. Even if he beat some of them charges, fuck you talking about? They gonna get that nigga, and he already got past convictions, and he not even supposed to be in none of this shit. He not even supposed to be in no gang situation. He not supposed to be around no gang members. He not supposed to be organizing no gang movements. All of this shit adds up into bullshit that can get him put under the jail. That's why motherfuckers just said this could get him put away for life. Then you was evading taxes, nigga. You was committing tax fraud against the government with government funds, and you was pocketing government funds as a gang member, nigga. Is you retarded? Is you not thinking? Is you not processing? This is how you know niggas don't be all the way thinking about what they doing before they do it. They just be getting in this shit because they see some money, they see green, and they don't understand what all comes with that. How you gotta move, the funneling, the tunneling, all of the shit that you have to do with the money in order to make yourself still look sustainable, in order to make yourself still look good, in order to still make yourself look charitable, in order to still make it look like you're doing what the fuck you supposed to be doing with the money. These niggas is fucking stupid. This is why you don't let niggas into real shit, because they always try to take advantage of things they don't need to be taking advantage of. He could have really been helping his fuck community. Instead, he's destroying the fuck out of it, which is killing me. Another thing I want to add on to it is just the fact that he killed Nipsey, like him having something to do with that. Bro know that for fact, because he kept trying to push that, and I remember him pushing that shit, but it was no real substantial situation as far as the story went. Me personally, I don't like to throw shit at niggas until I know what's up, but it's too many niggas out here saying it, and it gotta be something to it. Fuck what you talking about, to be honest. And add on top of that, they already threw his homie Fatsy in, and people been wondering, as far as people who actually know who Nipsey is, how and why the fuck his homie died, because he been rapping about that for a little minute. If niggas was really listening in the racks in the middle with Roddy Ricch and shit like that, or even before that, I believe, but even I think that's around that time he died, actually. But the thing is, this just adds on all the bullshit that he was on. First you trying to stop this man from blowing up as a rapper, then you trying to bullshit around and stop him having his store, then you trying to fuck him up as far as where he's going and progressing in his businesses and shit. Then you kill him. Come on now. Then it's like with this shit, like with the extortion shit, a motherfucker can't even be successful, bro, and travel without his own people trying to take him out, bro, because he got some diamonds on, because he got some money in his pocket, bro. I can't just travel, nigga. Like, white people don't do this to each other. Mexicans don't do this to each other. Niggas start this bullshit, and then people start following behind what niggas is doing. This is nigga shit. But this is why niggas is just crabs and buckets. This is why we can't never get nowhere. This is why nobody progresses or gets anything to a point where we can actually say that's our shit, nigga. We running shit over there, nigga, because we too busy trying to whack each other off because this nigga got it and I don't, when he needs to be my inspiration for getting it. But y'all let me know what the fuck y'all think. I'm gonna leave this link in the description shit. They snakes is lurking, observing, trying to close your curtains. These hoes be perping.